Hello everyone, we are from Universitas Negeri Jakarta, Office Administration Education Study Program. Today we are going to present our material titled Britain at Work in 2010. Before we start, let us introduce our group. I am Fidelia Denivandra and my study ID number is 170962405NH as the leader and my team.
My name is Mutia Halima. My study ID number 17097249337. And the next.
My name is Chilantara Maheshwari. My ID number is 17096244068.
Okay. Before moving to our material, let me explain a little about the table of content in this topic. This material is divided into 7 parts. Number 1 is warms up, understanding work in modern Britain. Number 2 is grammar, discussing modal verbs like will, may, make, and can. And number 3 is do it yourself, exploring future work trends, learning about future change in the workplace. And number four is using stress when giving opinions, about emphasizing words when expressing idea. And number 5 is commonly confused words, to learn difference between similar English words. The next is word choice, choosing the right words in different contents. And finally, number 7 is bibliography. For the first material, we have warms up for my friends.
Okay, this flipbook page is designed to help students understand how Britain job market changed around 2010 based on the Working Future reports. In the warms up section, the teacher introduced background facts. Most jobs in Britain moved to the service sector such as education, health, and finance, while manufacturing and agriculture declined. Students will look at picture of workplace identity which belong to service or production and discuss how technology like computers and the internet changed the way people work. They also compare Britain 2010 work situation with that of their own country today. Okay, the next slide is explained by my college.
Puzzle about work in Britain. This activity helps us review some important vocabulary related to work life. Let's take a look at the clues. Number 1 is across, what people do every day to earn money. It shows people is daily activities in Britain in 2010. The answer is work. And number 2, across, informal talk among people at work. It shows communication and friendly relationship between CO workers. The answer is chatter. And number 3 is down, used to talk about a small possibility in the future. For example, might get a new job, and the answer is might. And the last one is number 4, future prospect for jobs and economy. It means how people see job opportunities in the future. The answer is outlook. So this crossword helps us understand the vocabulary about British work life and future possibilities. Now let's move to the next part, the grammar section, which will be explained by me. In this section, we learn about modal verbs will, may, might, and can. These are used to talk about things that happen or could happen in the future. It shows a different degree of certainty from sure to possible. The function is number 1 to make prediction about the future, and the next to express a possibility or certainty, and the last one to show ability or potential. And the example number 1 is I will study tomorrow, shows a certainty, and she might not come today shows a small possibility. These grammar patterns help us describe plans, possibilities, and abilities, just like people in Britain at work talk about the future goals. The next.
Okay, the next in the do-it-yourself section, students apply what they learn. They match modern job title like software developer, teacher, and financial advisor. With description, then choose a few jobs they find interesting and explain why this job will be important in the future. Finally, they write a short paragraph about their ideal job, linking it to future work trends and the skill mentioned in the report such as digital, communication, and problem-solving skill. Overall, on this flipbook page encourage students to connect real-world data with their personal goals, thinking critically about future careers, and use English to express their ideas. Okay, the next slide is explained by my college.
I will explain about giving opinion. When giving an opinion, it is better to emphasize the part you are focusing on. Usually, the emphasized word is the core of the argument, a word that shows a difference or a word that changes your argument. The function is emphasizing your voice help you show your attitude your or stance on a topic, distinguish your opinion from others, make your speech more convincing and expressive, draw the listener attention to important point. Okay, for the example, if we reduce staff training, we'll save time. People too. But if we improve training, we'll save more time in the long run. In here, improvement, more, and long run are emphasized because they form the core of argument B. Okay, next is commonly confused word. Recognizing commonly confused word. There are words that are often confused because they are pronounced similarly. Example, except is for verb and except is for conjunction, by is preposition, by is for verb. When writing, you need to choose the correct word according to its spelling and meaning in the context. Not only does selecting the correct word improve your vocabulary and your writing, but it also make a good impression on your reader. It also helps reduce confusion and improve clarity. The following strategies can help you avoid confusing word. Choose one of the word in parentheses to fill in the blank. My little cousin turned. The correct is 2 years old tomorrow. Do you have any loose change to pay the parking meter? Father must have left his briefcase at the office. Okay, this is tips. There are tips you can try to help you practice. First is use a dictionary. Two is keep a list of words you're commonly confused, and the last study the list of commonly confused words. Next, okay, this is a word choice. Like a dictionary, uh, using a using a dictionary and thesaurus. Like a dictionary, a thesaurus is another indispensable writing tool. A thesaurus give you a list of synonym words that have the same are very close to the same meaning as another word. It's also lists antonym word with the opposite meaning of the word. A thesaurus will help you when you're looking for the perfect word with just the right meaning to convey your ideas. Second is using proper connotation. A denotation is the dictionary definition of a word. A connotation, on the other hand, is the emotional of cultural meaning attached to a word. The connotation of a word can be positive, negative, or neutral. Keep in mind the connotative meaning when choosing a word. For example, lazy, relax, and slow. For lazy, it's negative, relax, positive, and slow is neutral. Second is group, cling, and gang. Group for neutral, cling for negative, gang is negative too.
That's all for the bibliography part. Now we have come to the end of our presentation. We hope you have enjoyed it and learned something new about Britain at work in 2010. Thank you for watching.